Hello and welcome to Shelby Township Parks and Recreation in the News. I'm Joe Youngblood. With me today is Mike Adams from the Parks and Recreation Department. And here on the Shelby Parks and Recreation Show, we like to keep our residents updated with all the latest happenings, special events, programs, and anything new or exciting we have going on in Shelby Township. The first part of the show we want to start talking about is trail system here in Shelby Township. And some real exciting news, the trail from Riverbends to Utica is very near completion. Actually, mid-November was the anticipated completion date, and they're pretty darn close. There's actually a lot of users out on the trail right now. And with a lot of users, we have some rules that we like to follow. There is a set of rules in place that we have for the Macomb Orchard Trail, and some of these rules, if not all of them, are going to apply to this new path, because the new path going from Riverbends Park to the city of Utica is part of the Stony Creek to Metro Beach Trail. And as I was talking about earlier, the Macomb Orchard Trail is going to intersect just south of 24 Mile Road on the east side of DeQuinder. And at this time, let's take a look at some of the footage we have of the new trail going in. It's a beautiful trail, and we hope to see you out there soon. As you can see from the wonderful footage, we are really excited about this trail. Mike, I know we've been out there keeping an eye on it along with Carol from Fazil Khan. The feedback we're getting already and the amount of users out there, it's amazing. And it's not even officially open yet.
Well, and it's funny because the people are coming in the office as each section gets done. I think they keep walking it further and further, and they're just waiting for it to get done, asking when that completion date is, and I think it's going to be a beautiful trail. Mm-hmm. What is it, the culvert?
Yeah, it's underneath the railroad.
Underneath the railroad, looks really nice. They did a great job on that. And as we talk about it on all the shows, the people that come in about the trails, whether it be the asphalt walking paths or the actual trails or even some of the hiking trails we have now, just being used more and more on a daily basis.
Definitely. And on the trail system, there are some rules. And let's go back to the Macomb Orchard Trail. This trail goes from Shelby Township all the way to the city of Richmond, 23.5 miles. We have just over 3 miles here in Shelby Township. It runs on a northeast angle, goes from Shelby Township up through Washington, Romeo, Bruce, Armada Township, city of Richmond. It was the final destination once it passed through Richmond Township. But some people may not know, and Mike, and I don't know if you're aware of, there are some rules that they have on the Macomb Orchard Trail, and it's trail rules / etiquette. Let's start with the first one, Mike. The trail is open 1 hour before sunrise until 1 hour after sunset. Of course, there's a lot of homeowners along the trail.
Yes.
And they don't want to have people up there all night long. And also on that note, we do have the Macomb County Sheriff's Department that does patrol the trail. You'll see some bikers out there also. Walkers have the right of way. Bikes, skates, and skateboards yield to pedestrians.
That's one I knew.
You did know that.
I did know that one, yes.
And here's one that's very important. Always pass to the left, no excessive speeding. Now, we've had an issue with that because you do have some serious bikers out there on the trail, and I've experienced myself. I'm going out there for a nice, smooth Sunday afternoon jog. One thing we ask for is some people have some bells on their bike, but some people, if you can notify the person in front of you, on your left, on your left, on your left.
On the left?
Like passing on their left,
gotcha.
You know. So if you're in front of me on the right, I'm going to yell out on your left, you know, or approaching, whatever, you know. Is there something else?
Or get out of the way.
Well, yeah, you get out of the way, but we want to have some good etiquette here, Mike.
Gotcha.
And see, I'm glad we're talking about this for trail users
That's
like
what
Mike.
that's what I would yell.
Get out of the way, and you don't want to yell that because you might frazzle somebody.
Gotcha.
But the biggest problem you have is, and I know Mike from you being on the trail too. If you're out there with your daughter and you're just going for a walk and you're on the right side of the path where you should be, Macomb Orchard Trail does not have a white line down the center of it, but people should know to stay on the right-hand side. If you're all of a sudden you have a bike flying by, it scares you. And if you don't announce it, and then you could have somebody walking a dog and the dog jumps out. Well, if they know 50 feet ahead of time you're coming up, they can get the dog over to the right-hand side. So that's very important to stay on the right side of the trail, and also if you're passing, pass on your left. This is Macomb Orchard Trail rules. Once again, children under 12 must be accompanied by an adult. Do not block the trail. So if you're on the jogging group with 4 of your buddies or bikers, don't block the trail. You can go in a line along the right side of the trail. Owners must clean up after pets. That's true in all of our park system. No littering. No alcoholic beverages allowed. Users must stop at all crossings, because, Mike, there are some roads that we cross at. For the safety, of course, stop sign, we want you to stop. Climbing on bridges and railings is prohibited. Respect the privacy of adjacent homeowners. Camping and fire is prohibited. Not sure how many people want to camp out on the Macomb Orchard Trail, but it's a rule nonetheless. And hunting is prohibited. So there's some of the rule system that we follow. And also, in our park system in Shelby Township, we have the trails, and once this trail system is fully open, the Stony Creek to Metro Beach Trail, we're going to have so many more users. We're going to have some signs posted out there letting the trail users know what the rules are. One of the most important ones is stay to your right, and you'll pass on the left-hand side, as we mentioned.
One rule I'm not sure if you mentioned that I know gets brought up a lot, and I don't know if I heard it, is motorized vehicles.
No motorized vehicles allowed.
We've heard it ranges from four-wheelers being out there to even people on the little sit-down scooters that are motorized. Those are not allowed to be out there, correct?
Well, the motorized scooters, there's an ADA for that. If somebody is the handicap and they have a reason
I'm thinking more like the moped scooter.
Oh, correct. That's not allowed.
Teenagers on those little moped scooters.
Anything motorized is not allowed on the trail, so that's a very good point bringing that up. I know some of the communities north of here, they have some issues during the wintertime, snowmobiles being out there.
Yeah, we've heard that too.
But that's one thing. They have the Macomb Orchard Trail is owned by Macomb County, so you'd contact the Macomb County Sheriff's Department. They patrol the Macomb Orchard Trail. Obviously, if you have an emergency, dial 911 for the trail. But that's, I'm glad we're able to talk about this, Mike, because the trail system is really taking off here in Shelby Township, and there are some rules and etiquette that need to be followed.
And I think at the time of the year, too, right now, I know in summertime people are busy. It's too hot out some days. Right now, especially with this beautiful weather we've been getting the past couple weeks, seems like more and more people are headed out there, so this is good information for them to know.
Definitely. And the other rule on there I think is very important, is that no excessive speeding on the trail, even on a bicyclist, because some of these serious bikers need to understand, you got a family out there and you have a little 3-year-old daughter and they're on their bicycle, or a 4 or 5-year-old and they're learning how to ride a bike. Well, they may swerve out into the left. They can't physically sometimes stay to the right because they're swerving. And a good point for that is you see at Stony Creek, they have the main 6-mile pathway up there, but also if you're going too fast on the pathway, up there they'll say use the roadway. It's a shared use between the vehicles and the bikers. So I guess my recommendation, if you have the need to go at that excessive speed and there's a lot of people on the trail, Stony Creek might be a good option.
And like you said, there's no white line, and you have people coming the opposite way as well. So
no, and believe me, those bikers get on you fast. I was out there with my daughter Molly, and we were on our bicycles. And we had a bike, I mean, it seriously looked like they were half a mile away. And within seconds, they're on top of us. And we almost had a serious accident. And fortunately, my daughter swerved out of the way, and the biker kind of swerved. But it just was in an instant that biker was on top of us. So that's good stuff. Macomb Orchard Trail and also the Stony Creek to Metro Beach Trail is set to open. As soon as we have the grand opening kickoff for that, we'll let you know. You'll hear it first here on Shelby Parks and Rec in the news. Mike, we have a lot of events coming up.
We do. It's the holiday season.
Holiday season. Everyone's getting ready. It's hard to
75 degrees, holiday season.
Yes, and it's nice having July and November right now as far as with this weather. We'll take it.
Yes. I think it's warmer now than it was in July.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's beautiful out here in Michigan. So, but even though it's 75 degrees out right now, we're going to talk about some of the events. So coming up, we have the Shelby Township Christmas Aglow. And let's take a look at some of the footage that we have from past, just last year. This year's December 3rd, 7 o'clock p.m. at the Shelby Township Community Center. Let's take a look at some of the footage from last year's event.
Caroling, wanting to hear words of good cheer from everywhere, filling the air. Oh, holly ho, raising the sound, or in the dale, telling the tale, killing the ring, while people sing songs of good cheer. Christmas is here. Very, very, very Christmas. Very, very, very Christmas. they send on with that and their joyful tone to every home. Rock of the bells, sweet silver bells, all seem to say, throw cares away. Christmas is here, bringing good cheer to young and old, meek and the bold. Ding dong, that is the song with joyful ring, all caroling. One seems to hear words of good cheer from everywhere, filling the air. Oh, how they pound, raising the sound, o'er hill and dale, telling their tale, killing and ring, while people sing song of good cheer. Christmas is here, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. Dawn they send, dawn without end, their joyful tone to every home. Dawn they send, dawn without end, their joyful.
And you can see from the footage there, it's a great time. Mike, first I'd like to thank our sponsor, Christian Financial. Without them, we couldn't make this a free event.
Yes.
And we have some different items coming up. I know from the footage you could see kind of what was going on. But we start out, we have the Eisenhower Carolers out there, getting everything kicked off. And then, and also, what are some of the things that residents can look for once they show up? What's the process and what are some things going on?
Well, obviously we have the tree lighting event itself right next to the band shell.
Okay.
Some people that have never been to the event aren't sure exactly where they should be.
Right.
Best spots right in front of the band shell where we do the tree lighting. We have a Cub Scout group that does Pledge Allegiance, I believe.
Correct. Yeah.
They do that. Santa comes with the key. We have a Girl Scout troop that's been doing that with Santa. Excuse me.
Presenting the key to
Presenting
Shelby.
the key to Shelby Township. Of course, Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus have been there for numerous years.
I know, we really thank them for coming back every year.
Yes.
It's
and
amazing.
typically they're in the Hope Chapel.
Mm-hmm.
So right after Santa is presented with that key, usually heads on over to Hope Chapel where he meets with all the kids.
Every single one that wants to meet in line.
Every single
And
kid.
Santa and Miss Claus have said this is their favorite stop here in Shelby Township.
Oh, for sure. And it's a great event. Maybe it's their favorite stop because we have hot dogs,
Good point.
hot cocoa. Some of our sponsors that are there usually have some giveaways for people. We have cookies. Of course, Santa likes the cookies.
Oh yeah, of
The
course.
Christmas cookies, those are the best.
Definitely. And the hot dogs and the hot chocolate, the Shelby Lions Club is sponsoring this year, but also Dave Ebling in his business, the ice cream custard shop up
yeah.
at 26 Van Dyke. He owns that up there, and they were wonderful. And they do they give us a lot of donations around our fair too. But for them to come and cook the hot dogs for them, we really appreciate that.
That's more for the adults, maybe a little incentive to stand in line to see Santa is have a nice hot dog, hot cocoa, and a cookie.
Can't beat a free hot dog and hot chocolate in December.
No, for sure. And just the township grounds are decorated very beautifully for that event. People take pictures over at the train, the schoolhouse. Unfortunately, you never know if there's going to be 6 inches of snow, 25 degrees. One year is 50 degrees. You never know
That is
at that
true.
time of year, but it's looking good for this year.
But it'll be on regardless of the weather.
Yep.
And also come on out to see the Utica High School dance team comes out. And I think we have the JV, the JV dance team comes out. Bring your own camera and make sure the kids bring their wish list when they see Santa, because we have a lot of good things going on.
Santa's mailbox we have.
That is a good point. Santa's mailbox, so put it in there and they will receive a letter reply from Santa Claus, and it'll be addressed to your son or daughter on the mailbox. So that's always a nice little treat.
We also have the craft tent I forgot about.
Oh, that
the
is a
kids'
big
craft
deal.
tent, which is a great diversion.
It is.
Spend some time in there. The crafts are always great in there, and the kids love it.
And even if you don't like crafts, sometimes it's a good place to go to warm up.
Yes.
Depending on the weather.
Yep.
And also we have the Nature Center staff out there for the roasting of the marshmallows. And that is a nice draw also. So it's a beautiful event. You really get that small hometown feeling at the tree lighting. So don't miss it. That's Thursday, December 3rd at 7 o'clock p.m. on the Shelby Township Municipal Grounds, 2015 Christmas Aglow. Mike, we also have some other events coming up. We have the Breakfast with Santa.
Yep.
And December 5th at the Shelby Township Community Center. And we have been getting some calls. People are just inquiring what this is about. Let's take a look at some footage so we can show our residents a little bit about what happens at the Pancake Breakfast with Santa. And there you have it for the Breakfast with Santa. You kind of see what goes on there. It's a beautiful event. Mike, first I'd like to thank the sponsors, Dr. Van Barbette and also Genesis Credit Union. And one thing, we talk about this every year, but the biggest draw of the Breakfast with Santa that I feel is wonderful
is the pancakes that I cook.
Well, you got it, Mike. Number 2 on the list is the time you get to spend with your family and see Santa within 45 minutes to an hour, as opposed to the 3 or 4 hours at the mall.
For sure. I think the 2 seatings we have, the 9:30 and 11:30 seating. So if you're an early bird and you want to get there and your stomach's empty and you want to get your pancake breakfast, we have that seating.
Right.
If you want to sleep in a little bit and
Kind of have a brunch.
Have a brunch with the pancake and sausage and come at 11:30. And it sure does beat waiting 2 hours at Lakeside Mall for Santa Claus in a hot line that you're going to be mad about with your winter coat. It's very intimate seating, and you're eating pancake sausage. You have some entertainment, and you meet Santa Claus all in about 45 or 50 minutes.
Right, and the nice thing is you can go up and see Santa when you want.
Yeah.
We don't have people. There's really hardly a line there because there's other things to do. While there's a few families in line, let them pass through, and then you go up and see Santa. So.
And we don't put 150 people in there. We keep it to about 90, which that includes adults too, so the children have plenty of time.
It's a nice, quaint event.
It is very quaint.
Very good. Yeah, one of the other events we have coming up is the Dinner and Dancing with Santa Claus, and this is held at beautiful Cherry Creek on Thursday, December 10th. Give us a call at 731-0300 if you'd like to sign up with Dinner and Dancing with Santa Claus at beautiful Cherry Creek. But it's put on by the Parks and Recreation Department, so give us a call at our office. The other item we'd like to add is don't forget, like us on Facebook, Shelby Parks and Recreation. Look us up, give us a like. We have all the different information. Any events that we have coming up are all posted on there. Also, any updates to the trail system we'll have posted on there. So give us a like, and if you have any calls or any questions, give us a call, 731-0300 at Shelby Parks and Rec. Mike, thanks a lot for being on the show today.
Sure.
We appreciate it. Now it's time to get outside and enjoy this beautiful weather that we have here in Michigan. Please remember, here at Shelby Parks and Rec, we create community through people, parks, and programs. Thanks for watching.